Hi, young adults. Hi, everybody who's watching online. Welcome back to part two. This is part two out of 3 parts. So if you haven't caught part one, please stop this video right now. Go and watch part one because it is the introduction for all these videos. So I'm pleased to bring you part two. But before I do that, don't forget to subscribe. And I would love it if you could comment and like this video if it has been a blessing to you. Has been, will be a blessing to you. But for now, this is Pastor Isaac bringing you Elder Kuntat and Brenda talking about financial stewardship, biblical principles, and financial management. So I hope you enjoy the talk. I'll see you in part two very shortly.
But speaking of depreciating asset, Brenda, I got a very interesting question here. In a difficult time such as this, a lot of people are saying that the property market is very soft, prices are good, even car loans are getting good, and a lot of people are giving offers. Would you advise someone like me to go out and buy a house or buy a new car? What do you think?
Okay, if that's the case, I'll answer it from the context. Yeah. First of all, you have to look at your employer. SIB, retained profit, cash flow management. How long does it stay? And if they have retained 1 year, so your stable income is 1 year plus the people continue to give. So your stable income will at least continue to 2 to 3 years. And if you have the deposit to pay for the down payment for the house and the installment is manageable, it's a good time to go in because the property is low, it's soft at the moment. But again, you must understand there are different ways of buying as well. For example, to cut the cost a bit low and to cut the risk a bit low, there are a few advices on the table. Example, if you're below 41 years old in Selangor, you're not a director of any companies, you're allowed to buy a property which is below 300,000 at 90% loan or 100% loan. Now that is a very good deal for Malaysian, especially for Selangor. You can boost up the purchasing power and also the economic section. Now just bear in mind, if the installment payable, if I do a calculation, is more than what you can afford per month, so it's a bit challenging, right? Then you can partner with somebody who are more elder than you. Let's say Elder Kuntat and Pastor Isaac together. So Elder Kuntat say, okay, we can have a very good contract agreement called I hold in trust for you. You are a young pastor, I want to be a blessing to you. Instead of putting my money in the FD, I want to invest in a talented man called Isaac. So Pastor Kuntat Elder Kuntat and Pastor Isaac signed an MOU together, a legal binding contract. Now, the ownership will be yourself, and maybe he will give you some ROI things that you're supposed to do. In case you cannot pay, half of the asset belongs to him, he will fund the asset. If you can pay, it's fully yours, you can stand by in that kind of situation. And if he said he wants to bless you, he can give you ROI. You must have evangelism, touch how many lives. You must be able to do how many Bible class. This is investing in God's kingdom, financially and spiritually. If you have this ROI in that case, because God is God of generation, so Elder Kuntat can be a blessing to a young man like yourself, and then you can also build a home and grow to the next level. So for Elder Kuntat perspective, it's also good. For example, let's say he wanted to go another property, but he has so many things he wants to do, and he wants to bless you. For him, he has ROE, return of relationship equity, yeah. And for you, you have return of investment, return of social impact. Why? You stay, for example, you have your own property, you're paying right now, you can stay, you want an investable asset. So Elder Kuntat and yourself co-own together, maybe using your name because you're 41, you can get loan, whatever, but back to back, you are honorable, right? You sign the contract together. So in any case, you are in mission, you go to Indonesia, you cannot afford to pay, Elder Kuntat will be able to handle it. So you can do kira together at the end of the day. At the same time, if that property is rented out, wow, Pastor Isaac, you'll be a great giver to orphanage A because your rental income for property A, you can go and channel to orphanage B. Rental income A to orphanage B, you can actually remodel the whole giving process in a very organized manner. Could give, should give, fake give. Tithing and all those things. So it's a very mechanical, a very detailed process. So you can articulate your giving process. So you can like Paul is a tent maker, right? Paul's a tent maker. So if you have this strategy, let's say you're a lot of godfather like Elder Kuntat, then you get few of them. Then you got 5 properties or 5 different assets. You got chicken farm, you have fish or aquatics, and then you have a blessed delivery, burger delivery, dinner, whatever. You invest into a few of them. Your passive income, remember diversification of your asset. Your passive income per month is 3,000-4,000. Settle your wife, ang pao, all counting, Then you can, wow, darling, I can now, don't worry about you. I can go mission because my passive income is able to do whatever you do. It's like a parable of the talent. Just expand your stewardship. Of course, God is a provider. So when you do that, Elder Kunta is honoring the Lord by investing in God's people, co-discipling in finance. And for you, you are stewarding your three talent, 5 talent properly, and you a lot of generation. It's a real prototype that comes out. And then at the same time, if you invest in the blessed delivery and nobody is able to deliver, those who are in between job, looking for the passion, come and be the delivery person, or design the cafe, or design the recipe, or do the bakery. So you have win-win-win. You have 13 win structure in terms of the whole project. And the project can quantify in ROT, return of transformation, return of relationship, return of investment, return of community impact, return of social impact, and return, most importantly, spiritual impact. You know why? They see the brotherhood. They see the love. This is Act 17. Act 17, mutuality economy, how we collate the whole structure together. So that's what I want to give it to you.
Wow. I'm going to claim Brenda with a word of knowledge. Elder Kunta, you're now my godfather. I appreciate. Let's draft out some MOU after this. I would really be interested in that. But Brenda, you mentioned something very interesting, and in this COVID season, the Malaysian government gave housing loan moratoriums, a lot of loan moratorium. As a young adult, most of us will probably be stuck in a car loan or a house loan, some kind of loan. Would you advise us to take the moratorium or not take the moratorium?
Okay, let me explain. I have to quantify in 2 angles. One is the hire purchase loan. The other one is property. These are 2 different moratorium. Yeah. Then I also need to qualify in terms of age group. If they are below 30, 21 to 30, and 35 and above, 35 and below and 35 and above is a different advisor. Let me qualify this way. Because young adult, what you have asset is called youth. Youth, you have young age youth, right? You have time, that's your asset. So 6-month deferment for car, in my opinion, is not a big issue because you don't add extra interest. You just extra 6 months. Yeah, you're not rushing for retirement. You still work. You're still in the working cycle. So for below 35, you should take the moratorium for the car. So if your car is 1,007, 6 months is already XYZ dollar, and with that dollar, you can steward it into investing in God's chicken farm, investing in blessed delivery, investing in whatever, in even the stock market or gold. These are good stewardship. In moratorium perspective for car, below 35, yes. But if you're 35 and above, you're preparing for retirement and you can still afford, your job is on, it's what Elder Kunta said, do not owe anybody any debt except the debt of love. So the faster you clear the debt, the better you are because you have other phase that you need to do. So below 35, yes, take it. Above 35, reconsider. If your cash flow cannot, then you take it. If your cash flow can, please pay off properly. Now then the section 2 is the moratorium on the property. So there are a few ways, option 1, option 2, option 2A, option 2B, and option 3. I won't talk about all the options, but I will explain to you the option 3, which I think is the best one. You can study in that slides that I'm giving to Pastor Isaac, and Pastor Isaac can distribute to all of you. Please take note on that slide, study the slide option 3. Now you go for option 3 means you defer the payment at the moment for 6 months. And then by that time, you pay extra. That example is based on properties 500,000. Your installment is about 2,003, something like that. So you pay extra 47.93 cents or something like that, extra per month. The tenure remains the same. The interest that you save is a lot of money. But if you go option 2, yes, you defer 6 months, but the compounding interest, you have to pay extra 21 months. You need extra 2 more years. Then if you go for option 1, you have to pay a lot of interest. It means like now you don't pay, by the time of October, you pay a lot. Whatever you have not paid, you pay the base and the parts. Everything together is a big chunk of money. So option 1 is too hard for your cash flow. It's stressing for your heart. It's not wise to do that. If you can, go for option 3. So option 3, tenure does not change, but monthly installment just extra $47.96 or something like that. That one is the cheapest interest you have. Max is about about 20 plus thousand you clear. If you go for option 1, the total interest is about 48,000. So the best is go for option 3. Top up a little bit, same tenure. If you know how to negotiate with your banker, just tell them, I want same tenure. I don't mind paying extra, a little bit extra in my rest of my tenure. You just go for these 2 criteria. Same time, a little bit extra. How do I clear fast? These 2 criteria will help you to save a lot of interest. If you have 5 property, which all the property guru asks you to go in, if you calculate 1 property, this moratorium, you lost 50,000. You have 5 property, you lost 250,000. If this 250,000 you diversify in the 7 asset class, you are invading God's kingdom. You are investing in God's kingdom army and you're invading God's marketplace. So therefore, if you look at it seriously, you can save a lot of interest and make wise decisions.
Wow. Young adults, don't worry. I think there's a lot of options there. There will be a slide. So take a look at the slide and then re-watch this interview, what Brenda said. And then I think you understand better when you see the summary. So thank you so much for that explanation. I think a lot of people are asking, should we or should we not take the moratorium? It looks good now, but you know, what is the impact much later on? So thank you so much, Brenda. Elder Kunta, can I come back to you for a little while? I think a lot of people are asking as well, during difficult financial times such as this, a lot of us, we've got pay cuts, some of us have lost our jobs. How then can I be a faithful stewardship to God by giving God what is owed, which is my tithes and offering? But at the same time, if I've got a pay cut and I've lost my job, or I'm very financially tight, how do I strike a balance?
Okay, when it comes to tithing, please be very clear that it is out of your increase that you tithe. That means to say, if you are a small business owner or you are running a small business, if there is no profit, there is no requirement to tithe. Because scripture says it's out of your increase that God has given you that you tithe. Yeah, so if you are a small business owner under this present condition, when you are not making money but actually losing, then there is no requirement for you to tithe. For the majority of us, those of us who are working, our increase is basically our salary. So long as we have a salary, it is God's command. It's basically that we tithe. Yeah, it is about tithing is actually putting God first, because of all that you was given, your first 10% goes to God. Yeah, so be very mindful of that. I think one of the biggest challenge is we are always looking at I only have this left. Can I really sustain myself by basically tithing? Yeah. So scripture is actually very countercultural in a sense. Yeah. And scripture is it's very clear. It is more blessed to give than to receive. I think it is probably that one verse that is the most believed amongst all people, that it is actually more blessed to give than to receive. If we truly embrace this, then we will be looking to give. Why do we give? We give out of the goodness of God that is upon our life. We don't give to get, yeah. We give because of what God has already done for each and every one of us. So let me give you an anecdotal story within SIB itself. In the 1998 financial crisis, I think in the year 2000, a young adult, a member of our church that have just started a legal practice, came to me and basically seek the financial counsel. So one of the first questions I asked of him is that, are you tithing? His immediate response was, I actually don't even have enough money to buy milk powder for my baby. How can I actually tithe? How then do I tithe? So I say scripture is actually quite clear, that it is for us to tithe, and then God will open the windows of heaven for each and every one of us. The obvious challenge is, do you believe in what God's word has said? Credit to this young adult. He began to tithe. So for first month, there was nothing. He continued, second month, nothing happened. Third month, nothing happened. He was at the 6th month that he was on the verge of giving up, that something just happened. He was a fairly young lawyer. He had just opened his law firm. And lo and behold, I don't know how that happened. An international bank appointed him to be part of the panel because he had a specialty that was actually in shipping. So the international bank appointed him to be part of the panel, and from that day onward, his business began to blossom. That's what he related to me. He said at the 6th month, he was on the verge of giving up, where a number of things happened. First is he was put on an international banking panel, on a bank panel, and which specializes in shipping. So he actually he handled quite a lot of the bank business when related to shipping. And then the second thing was, he says many of his earlier investments, those given by his parents and all, what he would term as we have a Cantonese term for it. He says ham yi fan sang. That means to say even the salted fish has come back to life, and it just happened that it bloomed. From that day onward, because I look at all the church accounts, so I know that he has done very, very well when he begins to tithe. I think if you ask many of the people who are tithers, I think all of them will tell you somehow God intervened in every of their financial situation to bring them out of it. I think this financial crisis, God will use it to test and challenge many of us. Would you believe in the word of God and see him open the windows of heaven and show him? Because that is exactly what he said. In the Bible, this is the only time actually in Malachi verse 3 to 10 when God challenges his people to give and see if he will not then react. It is a conditional challenge. So will you do it? And if you do it, then see how do I respond towards it. So, but in everything that we do, please, everything, you will face many challenges, but it before us in everything. Shall I invest? Shall I tithe? What shall I spend on? It always starts with a plan. You don't do it haphazardly. You always start with the plan. And this plan must always take this posture. God first, family, Timothy 5 verse 8, as is shared by 1 Timothy 5 verse 8, as is shared by Brenda, God, family, church, and others. So it must be in that order. Put God first, make sure that you take care of your family. That is a must, yeah. Because if you don't, then you would have denied the faith. And then you look at what you have. What can you do with it? And every time you talk about whether it's saving or whether it's giving, it must be intentional. That means you don't go on the basis, let me spend, and what is left, I will save or I will give. You must come up with a plan. It could be a simple, 10% my tithe. 55% goes towards my family households expenditure. Maximum in Brenda terms up to 35. I would rather you stick it to 30 in terms of meeting your loan obligations. Then the rest, then you say, okay, I would then look at saving and giving. It can start small, but means to say it is intentional. This money is set aside from the first of the month rather than looking at what is remainder before you save. Once you have taken that decision, that means you say, if you qualified it, I will give. It can be as little as 2% in terms of giving, or in terms of 5%. Looking at your ability, yeah, I think we have people that have, based on what they receive every month, they actually can give away 70% to others. Yeah, so, but it is always you taking the first step of faith. The moment we take the first step of faith, then God steps in to grow your faith by bringing in more to you. You know, he brings it in with all a variety of ways, so that then your faith can increase and begin to grow with it. But in all things, yeah, you must have a budget. You must have a life plan, exactly what you need to do, and it must be over an extended period of time. It cannot be ad hoc, cannot be, I feel like it, I invest in this. It must be consistent, money set aside every month for investment, for giving, for tithing, for household expenditure, and for servicing of our loans. So that is the basis on how we should go about planning for the future. It cannot be ad hoc. Even in your investments, in terms of your portfolio, what you want to do, which geographical spread, what sort of industry, you must have a clear plan before you even start. Then once you start, you stick to that plan. Yeah. Let me just say this: each and every one of us is different when it comes to investment. Investment, let me say it again, is not a competitive sport. You cannot say because his money earned 10%, I must do things to earn 10%. But your own risk profile can be very different from somebody. Somebody gets all excited when the risk is high. He gets energized with it. Some of you, when you assume risk, it will keep you awake all night because your risk tolerance is very low. So every one of you in your portfolio for investments must take into account who you are as a person. Yeah. So a good financial planner will start with that. Will understand your risk profile or your risk tolerance before he even recommend what percentage goes to what. Once you understand what is it you are and what is it that you have, then he can begin to structure your plan. Yeah. So investments is always for the long term. You cannot say, I put my money in investment in 3 to 6 months, I hope to see return what. The chances of you doing that is that you are basically making a bet rather than an investment. And investment must be well thought out. Yeah, it must be very disciplined, and that you carry it through even though times may be difficult. In difficult times, it's like now, if all of you have resources, still have resources, it's probably the best time to invest. In terms of acquiring, appreciating assets, what is happening now is that in our nation history, the interest rate is actually lowest. So your best time for investing in appreciative assets, yeah, will probably be starting from, I would take from the final quarter of this year until next year. So your window for a young adult is beginning to open. So you have a lot of opportunities. many of those of you who don't have houses, many of the developers are in trouble. There are huge, massive stock of houses. And over time, they will begin to want to get rid of it at either at cost or minimal cost. And given the interest rate at the moment, yeah, so it will be very good for some of you to invest. The question the young adults has always asked me is, when would be a good time in a nation to invest? I have always said, understand the demographics of your nation. You know, those of you who have spoken to me 10 or 15, 20 years ago would now have been doing very well. Because based on our demographic at that point in time, we were a very young nation, and our demographic, our age demographic is that of a pyramid shape. That means to say our young, that means to say that we have the 1 year old more than the 2 years old, the 2 years old more than the 3 years old, the 3 years old is more than the 4 years old. So it's shaped up all the way. So as this young population matures, you need to house them, you need to feed them. So it's because of this pyramid shape, you can now understand why our houses, price houses, has gone through the roof. Because our younger people are maturing and they need to buy houses. But if you go to a different country like Japan or France, for example, if you buy a house, the chances are over the years it will continue to depreciate because many of them are passing away, new houses are coming into the market, and therefore there will be price pressure on the house. So for Malaysia, I think we will be peaking in terms of our shape has already peaked, and I think we are beginning to invest and become something that is more like a funnel. An oblong shape before we reverse the pyramid. So now you are still okay, but in terms of investing with houses, always remember, location, location, location. Make sure that they are public transport utilities that are all there, and you have some of the basics right, you will be fine. Yeah, so the best is seek counsel, talk to a lot of people. Since Brenda will be giving another talk, ask the question of Brenda, then you will get a very good idea. Seek counsel. Don't take the decision of your own. Speak to a lot of people, understand the market that you're coming into, and then invest with confidence. Yeah. But let me say something about borrowings. The moment you borrow, you are actually presuming on the future. You are saying that tomorrow will be better than today. That's what you are basically saying. So you need to be very mindful of where you are at this point in time and whether you can actually borrow with minimum risk. Remember, I'm telling you, every 10 years, you will face a financial and economic crisis. You must be prepared for each and every crisis as you go into. If you are prepared, then when the crisis hit, you will not have sleepless nights. Every night will be fine with you. So prepare. I always say it needs plan. It needs a biblical plan so that it will help you in that respect.
Wow, thank you so much, Elder Kuntat. I can almost hear my wife saying, agreeing with you, because me marrying her is like an investment, intentional, and it matures over time. But speaking of investment, Brenda, I'd like to come back to you. As a young adult, let's just assume that 30% of my salary, I cannot afford to buy a new house. What are the other diversified platforms I can have to invest my money?
Okay, so basically, Ecclesiastes 11 verse 2 applies again in investment. Yeah, so we talk about Ecclesiastes 11 verse 2 in terms of income sources. It's always good because we are trained in great methodology. One salary, one income. Of course, when you're in that one salary, one income, you should do a good job, yeah. But what I mean is, in God's perspective, he's an entrepreneur. I'm sure he will give you the skills to craft a lot of stuff out of the tree. He won't give you the money drop from the sky. They give you the gifting to steward your gift, and then you craft a table, a chair, a spoon from the tree. So you have to understand that in the context of Ecclesiastes 11 verse 2 in diversification of income. Yeah, it's not wrong because you can diversify in business and also in income, but just be a good steward. When you're 9 to 5, do a good job or deliver. Then with your diligence over there, you can have capacity to do another diligence on your income. Let me explain to you. In this particular short period of time in the MCO, I want to be a good diligent steward of God. I said, Lord, what do you want me to do? I wrote 2 books, and the third book was very well received by China. It's about Jewish wealth management. So the Chinese people want to know how the Jews manage wealth. So what I mean is, am I a licensed financial advisor doing a case? Yes, I did a Zoom care, I did a Zoom session, help the clients, help them, I pray for them. Non-Christian, Christian, I pray for them, ask them permission. I also restructure their finance. At the same time, I do write a book as well. So was I diligent in my profession? Yes, I am. Am I diligent in doing my so-called my diversification income, like being an author? I am as well. So therefore, diversification income is number 1 on income sources. The second diversification is about asset. That's answering your question. So there is a foundation money, emergency money, serious money, business venture money, lifestyle money, play money, giving money. So each of them got 1 pot, right? In each pot, you must have diversification as well. Let me explain. Emergency money, let's say, this is more on context or Elder Kunta. Emergency money, you're supposed to diversify as well. If you put everything in one FD, Malaysia PIDM say each account can only keep 250,000. If something happened nationally speaking, government riots or whatever, PIDM only secure 250,000 per account. Yeah, I'm just talking to Elder Kunta. So if you have $1 million, you put inside one bank, everything wipe off, only 250,000 secure by government. So diversification applies on your emergency money into different pots of money. Now go for the serious money. Serious money is like Chinese call 人生第一桶金, the real serious goal, right? So that part of money is called serious money. Serious money, you must diversify also. What are diversification? Property, paper money, bonds, alternative asset. Can you be a money lender? You do not borrow for the bank. Can you lend it out? You can. How much can you get in? 10,000. And what's the interest? 12%. Can you earn that kind of interest? You can. That diversification in terms of that serious money pot. In the serious money pot, one of the components is called real estate. Real estate means property. So in that real estate, you also need to diversify. You must have land, apartment, shop lot, service apartment, Airbnb. You also need to diversify. So Ecclesiastes 11 verse 2 not only apply in income, it also apply in emergency money, it also apply in serious money, it also apply in business venture money, it also apply in lifestyle money, and also apply in play money. So a lot of young people, young adults say, is crypto money serious money or play money? That's what they want to ask. Then I will ask you, which nationality are you? Are you a Malaysian, Singaporean, Hong Kong, or Dubai, or whatsoever? You're talking about Dubai, they buy property with cryptocurrency. Turn one button, they bought the whole property. But in Malaysia, cryptocurrency is not properly a registration yet. In Hong Kong, they put a very careful note there. In Singapore, cloud crypto. So therefore, cryptocurrency depends where you stay and what is your aspiration. So for young adults who have not built the serious money yet, no first property, no nothing, then cryptocurrency is play money. Now in play money, there is also diversification option, forex, and also crypto and ETF and all these things, right? These belongs to play money. In my section, I would say cryptocurrency can be a serious money, can also be play money, can be business venture money. Okay, let me explain. If you are a young adult who have not bought your property, anything, haven't got paper money, no unit trust, no property, nothing, no gold, then this cryptocurrency is definitely a play money. But you have all these asset class, and you have an e-commerce business that somehow may link to digital currency, and you don't expand your business with cryptocurrency because Spain already digitized the digital banking, right? So if they apply in Asia, if I've got the favor from the Lord, I may be doing something like that. So if that's the case, then your business are evolving into digital related business. Then cryptocurrency become your business venture money. Yeah. If you have this base, then cryptocurrency becomes your serious money, your business venture money, and your play money as well. However, you have to be very, very careful. Forex, for example, Forex naturally is about $2-3 trillion transaction per day. Yeah? So there are a lot of elderlies. If I'm doing golden years, I really want to stress this emphasis. A lot of father, if not for you young adult, but for your parents, be very, very mindful. Forex give you good income. But the number of elderly pledge the house, refinance the house, and put into Forex. And one statement from Donald Trump, the whole Forex drop, and there goes 400 plus 500,000 all vaporized because they do not know Forex is plain money. They think Forex is income and they think Forex is serious money. So they do not know where to put the money. And end of the day, everything vaporized. Yeah, that goes to the young people as well. So young people are very trendy. They want ETF, they want Forex, they want option, they want stocks. Yeah, it's okay. It's very good. Stocks also got a value impacting stocks, speculative stocks. There are different strategy in investment. So you need to know where is your appetite first, and then from there you can build a portfolio of stocks. You can do a portfolio of cryptocurrency. You can do a portfolio of serious money. But the question is, you must have the basic structure first. As what Elder Kunta saying, you must have a plan first. So get your financial advisor who are biblical based to anchor your different pots, and then from different pots you go into micro, because it's a very structured. From property you go into micro property, and you can also go in paper money, go into micro paper money, you can do super micro paper money. You can lend the money to others. You cannot be a banker, but you can be a mini banker between the Along and the whatever. You can earn 12%. It's called structured notes or factory. There's such product income. So licensed advisors are available. Those matured licensed advisors who know these services are available. So you can do that as well. So
Wow.
diversification is very important.
Thank you. I really love all your categories. I never categorize it my life like that, but I think after this I will.
That's part 2. So thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate all of you. Again, a quick reminder that there is a part 3. So don't forget to finish off this whole interview by watching part 3. But for now, this is Pastor Isaac saying thank you for watching. All of you out there, God bless you, and see you at part 3.